Welcome to this deep dive. We're here to take the sources you've shared, your curiosity, and really unpack them together.
Yeah, give you a clearer view of the topics you're exploring.
And today, it's a really fascinating one. We're looking at the connection, this intricate link between your mind, your body, and autoimmune conditions.
It's complex stuff.
Yeah.
We've got some interesting research you sent over on the HPA axis, cortisol.
Right, and also some broader perspectives, the whole mind-body connection idea, how our emotions might play a role in physical health.
Exactly. So our mission today really is to pull out the key insights from all these different angles.
Connect the dots for you, make sense of it all.
Yeah, hopefully leave you with a clearer picture without, getting lost in every single tiny detail. We know you want to get the core understanding quickly but thoroughly.
Okay, so where should we start? The HPA axis seems like a good place. That came up right away in the research.
Definitely. The HPA axis and cortisol.
So for anyone maybe not familiar, what is the HPA axis and how does it tie into stress and, crucially for us today, the immune system?
Right. So the HPA axis, that's hypothalamic-pituitary-adrenal, it's essentially your body's main stress response system. Think of it like a command center.
Okay.
It involves parts of your brain, the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, and then your adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys.
Right.
When your brain perceives stress, this chain reaction starts. The hypothalamus signals the pituitary signals the adrenals.
And the adrenals release cortisol.
Exactly, cortisol. And cortisol does a lot, manages blood sugar, metabolism, but really importantly, it modulates, it influences how your immune system behaves.
So that's the direct link. Stress signal, HPA axis, cortisol, immune system changes.
Pretty much. That's the pathway.
And the sources you shared.
Yeah, it's definitely nuanced. The research highlights that in conditions with chronically high cortisol, like Cushing's syndrome, well, we usually think of cortisol suppressing immunity, right? Short term.
Right.
But long-term high levels, they might actually fuel a kind of persistent low-grade inflammation.
Oh, interesting. So too much for too long flips the script.
Kind of. It seems that way. And that low-grade inflammation can then contribute to other problems, diabetes, atherosclerosis, even osteoporosis. It's like the system gets stuck in overdrive and causes collateral damage.
Okay, so it's not just cortisol bad or cortisol good for inflammation. It depends.
Exactly. Duration, level, context. It all matters.
But then the flip side, the research also mentioned that in some autoimmune conditions like lupus, SLE, or Sjogren's syndrome, SS, people might actually have too little cortisol response when stressed. That feels backwards somehow.
It does seem counterintuitive at first glance, yeah. But there was that study comparing women with SLE and SS to healthy controls. And it found that under stress, the women with autoimmune conditions actually showed a blunted cortisol response. Their HPA axis seemed less active in that moment.
So what does that mean functionally?
Well, it could mean their bodies aren't producing enough cortisol to effectively put the brakes on inflammation when needed.
Ah, okay. So instead of an overactive stress response driving autoimmunity, in some cases, it might be an ineffective stress response failing to control inflammation.
That's what this particular research suggests. Yes, it points to the relationship being more complex than just stress causes inflammation. It's about the regulation of that whole system.
That's a really key distinction. It's about how our bodies respond hormonally to stress. Now, speaking of stress, the term adrenal fatigue comes up a lot. Your sources mention this too. What's the deal with that? Is it a real thing?
Ah, yes, adrenal fatigue. It's important to clarify this. The sources you shared and the general consensus in mainstream medicine is that adrenal fatigue isn't actually a recognized medical diagnosis. The idea that your adrenal glands just get worn out from chronic stress, well, the adrenals are actually pretty resilient. They tend to keep working even under prolonged stress.
So conditions like Addison's or Cushing's.
Loving the podcast? Don't miss out. Unlock the full episode with a subscription. Get in touch to subscribe now. Fix your inner world at gmail.com.